Hey everybody, we're going to do a quick video. Things are starting to thaw out, so I'm going to get the wood yard going. Supposed to get a lot of rain today and over the weekend. One of the first jobs I got to do this year with my landscape business is I got to go clean up, cut 3 building lots off. I thought spring was here 3 weeks ago because it melted off to where there wasn't a snowbank hardly, and then we get hit again. They're saying this weekend we might get hit with a storm. I normally get going on this when snowplow season stops, and it stops, and then like I don't dare take my sander off my truck and stuff like that yet, but this is the time of year I got to do those 3 lots. This video is to show my Echo saws. I have HUSQVARNA and Echo. I like the Echo saws for limbing and small stuff. I actually think I like them better than I do my smaller HUSQVARNA stuff. I like my HUSQVARNAs from like the 455 up rancher style up saws. They're smaller saws I've never been super impressed with. I want to show you my first Echo. This is a CS 490. I went to Home Depot probably 5 or 6 years ago. Someone had bought this, probably went home, cut a tree with it, brought it back, said there was something wrong with it. They had it checked out, put it out there. I don't know what this cost new, but I ended up getting it. It was sitting there, I want to say for like 85 bucks, and I've done well with Home Depots. I bought 2 of my Honda push mowers from Home Depot, same thing. Someone buys them, goes and mows their field behind their house with them, kind of beats on them a little bit, but they bring them back and they discount them $150, $200. So you're buying a $500, almost $600 push mower normally for, I got those, I want to say for like $250. Like a month later, I go in, this is sitting there, and it looked, I mean, it was brand new. So it was there for like $87, and I jokingly said something to the guy that had sold me the mowers weeks before that. It's the same guy in the lawns department. I said, I'll give you 75 bucks for it. He goes, yeah, I'll do that. And I'm like, I thought he was joking. So I actually went over, and they're not supposed to let him back in the store, but it had gas in it. And I walked up, I said, can we take it out in the garden? And I did. One pull, it started, ran, everything seemed to go. He goes, no, they checked it out. And he said they weren't supposed to leave gas in it, but I bought this for $75. It's been a super saw for me. But that's what got me going with Echo. Other than that, I've always been kind of a HUSQVARNA person. This is the time of year, like I said, we're going to go do that cutting. So I want to get all my saws up and running. These are all set. I do normally put these away with True Fuel in them in the fall. I normally run them out, put True Fuel in them, run them for 5 or 10 minutes, and then shut them off. And this should start fairly easy. Normally 1 or 2 pulls. So we'll see. There's one. This one here I bought, I want to say 2 years ago. This is one we keep in the truck, one of the trucks normally in the winter. I do a lot of camp road stuff like that, but there's white birches everywhere. Perfect example is this year. This saw got used probably more this winter than it ever has. I would say every other storm that we had here, that it would bend the trees over the roads. There was mornings I'd go to leave here at like 3:30, 4 in the morning. I actually had to cut trees to get out. I couldn't even get under them with a pickup truck with a plow on it. So this saw, it did run this winter. It hasn't run for a few weeks, but we'll see how it starts. Cool. So I'm going to use those a little bit, cutting this stuff up. This is the last, these logs here are all stuff I had set aside for the sawmill. There was like 8 of them, and I cut some of them up, but I ran into some soft spots. Plus, when these came down, you can see there's some cracks in them. When they hit, they cracked. I didn't know that when I brought them home and stacked them over there, but we're going to cut these up as firewood today. That's about all that saw wants, is that size wood. What I'm trying to do with this little short is explain that that's a good, to me, this is like one of the best homeowner saws. Some more logs I've been digging out from the last few years. I've been so busy I just dump these things everywhere, but I'm finding them. Just trying to get some stuff wrapped up before we bring, I got 3 lots I got to cut off, so we're going to be bringing a lot more in, so I'm trying to get this stuff cleaned up. But we're going to use the 455 Rancher and a 460 Rancher. These are 2 of my older saws. I did buy both of these at Lowe's, big box stores, whatever. I don't feel there's any difference. I could be wrong on that. I just figured we'd do a quick video. That was the 455 Rancher. We'll do the rest with the 460. The reason I'm stacking them like that is they were up in the hill. I like splitting these when they're somewhat frozen because they split easier, but cutting them when they're frozen, sometimes your blade and chain, when they get warm, don't like it. They kind of wedge in there. But you noticed a couple times I kind of choked up a little bit. I had to back off. But that's what it is. It gets into that, and the moisture gets and kind of shrinks everything up for a second. So we'll get the rest of these with the 460. But I'm just trying to clean up the wood yard. And last few years I've been so busy, I have wood dumped, and like I got extra lots around my house. The one up on the hill I actually sold to one of my brothers, had a bunch of there's like loads of 6 logs. Got busy and I just dump them, and then now he wants to try to clean that up this spring. Lay out the septic and all that, so we're trying to clean up everything that's up there. I've got probably one pile that's probably 6 to 7 cords I got to cut up too. It's good. I'm glad I got the wood, to be honest with you. I wish it would just keep showing up. I'm gonna call it good with that saw because I thought I sharpened them both this morning. I only sharpened the 460, or the 455 I should say. The problem I'm having this time of year, all these logs I'm cleaning up, I'm picking them up. This part of New Hampshire never really froze this year, so anything that was on the ground's got a lot of mud on it, and it dulls your chains out pretty quick. I don't normally let them get real bad unless I'm having a long day and I just want to get a job done. If I didn't bring the stuff with me to sharpen it, but normally I keep my saws sharp. I never let them get to that point. I'm not gonna kill myself when I have an excavator here. One task down for today. I think I'll take the excavator, move my coffee cup. It seems to be in the way every time I do this, try to do something. Like I said, I got a pretty good charge of wood coming, so I'm trying to clean up all the stuff that I had hanging around from the last year or two. Plus, the more you move this crap around, the dirtier it gets. I really go out of my way when I bring the stuff home to keep it clean. I'm actually going to try the stuff I'm bringing home from the next job I'm doing. I'm going to try to cut on the ground there and bring it home in chunks, so I don't have to deal with it when it gets here. That way I can just bring it down here and dump it near the splitters. So this is the last pile of wood that I had from last year. I'm gonna guess it's probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 cord here. It's a pretty big pile. I'm a landscape company, but I want to get into the wood, and I hate processing wood. Like, this is an extra lot I got that's pretty far away from my log splitting operation, which is my log splitters are side by side. They're in a little lean-to shed thing I built. But this is the stuff next year I don't want happening. I've been so busy the last few years, but you got to be real efficient when you're cutting, splitting wood. This is stuff that comes off lots. Last year I had some videos that showed I had a mess come home that I had to deal with. I'm going to try in the next few videos that you see with me, with my log splitting operation and stuff, firewood I should say operation, I want to try to get more and more efficient. This is the stuff that can't keep happening. But for me to come up and process this, number one, I don't like the snow, but this is what I do this time of year. It's between mud season and when I start. The only reason I'm going to be able to start this next job is because it's right around the corner from my house, so I can get my excavator over there. I'm probably going to bring the wood home. When I come home for lunch, I'll bring a 1-ton load or a big trailer load. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet. But I'm going to try to process it, bring it home, dump it right where the wood splitter is. But this here, a lot of people say, oh, bring the log splitter up here, but to me, I'm just going to cut it, throw it in this bucket, bring it down near the splitter and dump it. Most of these rounds I'll probably pick up. There's a couple here that I might split on the big splitter before I go on the super split, but this is what we'll be doing today. I'm going to put a big pile here. That whole pile I'm cutting today, I'm going to try to get down here so it's close to these splitters. Normally I leave enough room so I can drive up to the super split and throw it in the bucket. This stuff here will be firewood. This will probably be seasoned if I get it cut and split the next week or so. Stuff that sits up in my field dries out real good. Most of the time I have this year's wood split before winter hits. I just wasn't able to do that this year, so I'm not going to have as much dry. Dry wood to me is like 17% moisture. This may dry out. Like I said, this field up here in the summer just gets so hot with the sun. I've had real good luck drying about anything out. These logs have been down, like I said, since late last summer. Unless you cut it up like this length, they don't tend to dry. But I think I'll be all right with this. But I just wanted to show this is where stuff's coming. I want to get this done before my season starts. All right, it's like 11:30 in the morning. I've got, I don't know, a couple cords of that pile diced up. I'm gonna work probably until like 3, because once this road goes through to where it's dirt, I don't want to tear it all up to get it down here. So I'm gonna probably have 2/3 of that pile down here and ready to go. But my biggest thing is I want to leave room too, because I got some more stuff coming in. But I'm just trying to get on top of all the wood I had from last year. I'd like to process that first. In my area, I'm pretty confident we're going to see a housing crash, which really affects my landscape business. I'm not rich by no means, but I can handle a couple years if there ain't much going on. What happens up here is there's so many guys, contractors that will start doing their own landscaping, whatever. I can afford to sit still. I don't owe a lot of money, thank God. But I really think this country's getting ready to see a bad time. I'm going to get back on cutting this. Told my wife doing this wood stuff is either gonna keep me young or kill me. One or the other. We'll find out in a few years. I didn't get as much as I thought I would today, but the roads are the pathway down through my field's getting muddy, so we're gonna call it. If it gets cold enough to bind back up, I might do some more in the morning. But I ended up with a pretty good pile of rounds to split. It gives me a few days work anyways. But I just thought I'd show that real quick. Other than that, thanks for watching.